The kind that can't be measured by degrees. Rambling fever, there ain't no kind of cure for my disease. There's times that I could bed down on a sofa and let some pretty lady rub my back.
Welcome to round 2. Raise those torches and help us defend our fortress!
Ha 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 ha! Pathetic! I've already taken the king's crown, and now I'm here to take something of yours. Fire! Your realm cannot help you now!
Raise your torches! Join me in restoring our energy!
Welcome back to the Pints and Parlays podcast. My name is Mike.
I'm Aaron.
And we are your Friday fix for sports takes, betting breakdowns, and everything in between. Today is August 1st, and we got a loaded show today. MLB trade deadline chaos, the fallout with Christian Wilkins and the Raiders, the highly publicized NBA arrest with Marcus Morris, and many things to come. So, Aaron, let's get into it. Let's talk about the Raiders a little bit. 5 years in Vegas, and they still don't really have an identity here in Vegas. So here we are, 5 years into the Las Vegas Raiders. The only consistent identity with this team is built-in dysfunction wrapped in black and silver. The Raiders came to Vegas for the listeners that don't know from around the country. Welcome. The Raiders moved to Vegas in 2020, lured by a $750 million public investment, a $2 billion stadium, and a promise of a new era. And instead, in their 5 years here, they've had 6 quarterbacks, 5 different head coaches, and just one playoff appearance, and that was under an interim who they honestly they should have kept, and they didn't. Last year, 4-13 was 10 straight losses, last in rushing, 29th in scoring, and just for kicks, they fired their OC mid-season while rotating between Gardner Minshew and O'Connell. I mean, you have Pete Carroll coming in now, 73-year-old who retired last year until Mark Davis threw him a blank check in a desperate plea. Aaron, what do you think the Raiders need to do to help get the fan base in Vegas?
Honestly, I think that they need to win more games, honestly. I mean, right now with ticket sales, the people who have season tickets have them to resell to visitors coming into town to watch their teams beat the Raiders. If the Raiders win more games, maybe those season ticket holders will decide to go to the games instead of selling the tickets to tourists.
Yeah, and if you look at obviously you look into stuff like this when you research the show, and so do I. I mean, you look at fan blogs, and you have people saying like, you hear it, don't you? The siren call of incompetence. Pete Carroll's here. Genty might be a god. Bowers runs like a gazelle, but deep down, Geno Smith is going to just make the Raiders another Jets situation, and the secondary is mostly theoretical. It's like, being a Raiders fan, and being a Vegas local, it's it's like a Greek tragedy in Allegiant Black, basically.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I worked in the race and sports industry, I can't tell you how many times I would see Raiders jerseys. I'd be like, "Oh, you live in Vegas?" "No, I live in California." "No, I live in California." The culture is still based in Oakland. The Oakland fans travel here to see the Raiders games. So
Right.
I
And
think
and if you think
oh, go
about it,
ahead.
Vegas doesn't claim the team, right? Like, not I mean, most Sundays, like you said, the building's filled with opposing fans.
Yeah.
It's like you can say the new Raiders tradition is reselling season tickets on StubHub, hoping to make a profit.
Yeah, so I mean, I think for me, like that's the big thing. If they can start winning more games, maybe the people will start coming from Vegas and it'll build the culture here. But that's just one man's opinion.
But I think winning games doesn't help at this point. I mean, yes, winning cures everything. People let go of the past, but at the end of the day, I mean, this team is defined for Vegas people that aren't football fans for what happened with Henry Ruggs.
That's true. Yep. Think about the fact that he was going 156 miles an hour drunk, killed a woman and her dog. That's what they see. They don't see the system that the Raiders are trying to bring here. They don't see the team itself. They see all the bad stuff.
Vegas will embrace anything if you win, but in 5 years, the Raiders still feel like it's a layover, an attraction, a souvenir shop with sold shoulder pads. And you can look at the players they brought in, like, they drafted Bowers, who's probably the best player they've had in a long time. Genty's, being counted on to be a superstar, which is unnecessary pressure they're putting on him when they haven't had a good running game in a couple years, especially since Josh Jacobs left.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their quarterback situation has been a merry-go-round too. I'm not saying that Geno Smith is the answer, but I think it's the best quarterback they've had in a while since prime Derek Carr before he broke his leg.
Yep, and I think until they stop spinning through coaches and quarterbacks, until they give the city the reason to believe, the only identity they've built is that of like a cursed traveling circus, still looking for a ringmaster.
Right, yeah, that's true. I don't know. Like I said, this season is yet to come. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it helps, but I don't know. It's hard to root for them until they can get a solid system in.
I mean, I don't have you live in Vegas and so do I. Have you been to a Raider game?
Yes, but it was to see my Texans play the Raiders, not just the Raiders.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I support and I follow the Raiders. I want them to do well, but I'm a little biased being a Patriots fan my whole childhood until we got an NFL team, basically. And the only time I've ever went either is to watch the Patriots. Other than to go, I mean, to be honest, I've been to Allegiant way more times to see UNLV than I have to see the Raiders.
Oh, 100%. Same here. Like I said, the one time I went to a Raiders game, I was the only Texans jersey in a swarm of California fans from Oakland. I was surrounded by Raider jerseys, and I was wearing my J.J. Watt jersey. Boy, it was bleak.
So let's kind of get into the weirdness that's been going on with the Raiders. I mean, it's another not very good look for them, getting rid of Christian Wilkins, who signed a 4-year, $110 million deal in 2024 with $84.75 million guaranteed. He only played 5 games for the Raiders before a Jones fracture in his foot shut him down. And then you had this bizarre situation come in this week with, well, I guess in the last week and a half now, of him, getting his contract voided because he kissed a teammate on the head.
Yeah, I mean, that's that cancel culture. Let's run to HR. But now you got a bunch of money just gone. wiped out from your salary cap because of a stupid situation, something that should have been avoided.
So the team cited that they released him because he refused to undergo a second surgery on his foot that was recommended, made by team doctors after his initial rehab stalled out. Wilkins apparently opted to continue non-surgical rehab, but that wasn't good enough for the Raiders front office. So they ended up, on June 4th, they voided the remaining guarantees in his contract. And then on July 24th, they released him for what the kissing situation, but they're claiming it was because he was not willing to play along with them, basically.
Right. What do you think it was? Do you think it was the kiss, or do you think it was the non-surgery?
So I think it's a mix of both. I mean, you're getting paid $84.5 million, whether you play a snap or not, right? You just got to listen to what they say. If the second surgery doesn't work, you're still getting paid. But like, you played 5 games. He didn't really put up He really didn't put up very good numbers when he played. He left. He was supposed to be that stopgap next to Max Crosby, and just don't do weird shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I think maybe what he wanted to maybe try to do is, if the second surgery prolonged him throughout this year, maybe he felt like he wanted to try to prove himself before having to go through it. I mean, I can understand it. I mean, he didn't put up solid numbers before he got hurt, so maybe he wants to try to put up good numbers before having to worry about surgery again, or see if he could play on it before he needed surgery. I mean, I can understand. Because,
but I
as
think
a player,
too, like, you have to think about, when did they ask him? Like, when did they initially go to him and say you need a second surgery?
I don't know. Did it say?
No, I'm just like speaking out loud. It's like,
Oh,
did
right,
they
yeah.
do it towards the end of last year where he just would have missed training camp? Did they do it or did they wait till right before camp to do it, where he's going to miss significant time to the season?
Right. But that's something to look into. Plus, being an athlete, the more surgeries you have, the weaker your body gets. So maybe he's trying to alleviate shortening his career by having multiple surgeries.
So according to reports that came out, the final straw may have been that kiss. Yes, a playful kiss that Wilkins gave a teammate on the forehead inside the Raiders facility. The teammate took offense. He went to HR. Like, what football player goes to HR?
Got to be a young one.
It came out that it was defensive lineman Adam Butler, who was a practice squad player, who was trying to make the team, get on the roster. But when they asked him strictly about it, he didn't confirm or deny it when he was asked, but he did make a pointed comment about it during his media availability, in which he said, let me see if I can find it. He said, whatever you're going through, talk to somebody, get therapy, it's your deal. So, like, why are you telling somebody to get mental help if they're just messing with you in the locker room? Like,
Right.
Is that just the generation of athletes that are out there now?
I don't know. Maybe he was trying to undermine him so he could get a roster spot.
So from a cap perspective, this could get very messy. So Wilkins filed a grievance with the NFLPA, and the Raiders could end up being hit with a salary cap charge of $21.15 million for 2026. Right now, his dead money sits at $24 million. Unless it's settled early, it could drag into arbitration. So what's really going on here? Did the camp soften so they could get money? Did they acknowledge that surgery? Are they going to acknowledge that surgery wasn't necessary or was necessary? Are they going to kissing incident? Are they going to acknowledge that? Like, where do you even go if you're them? Because now the Raiders are in a tough spot. Because he filed to get money, so it's like now you're now you're screwing the Raiders over in a sense that, okay, now that you're going to be hit with dead cap of $21.5 million because you want money. You really think the Raiders are going to pay you if it's a HR situation?
No, I mean, if the NFLPA says that they got to pay, then they got to pay. And then that's going to hurt them for future players down the road, because how long are they going to have to pay them for?
Right. And then it looks like, what's the perception of, what's actually going on there? Does the new coach and new GM not already have, like, they don't have control? How much of a mess was that locker room last year with Antonio Pierce? Like, Was it, obviously he got fired in the middle of the season, but like, how much of a dumpster fire were they?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell because of the fact that this situation happened. Plus, you got a new coach coming in. I don't know if maybe Pete Carroll had part to do with it, and he was trying to just maybe be a hard behind and show that hey, nobody's gonna freaking run me over or whatever. I don't know. Like this situation is very, very weird. I've never seen something like this for that explicit reason. Because you got to think most locker rooms they play around, have fun, try to lighten the mood, try to lighten tensions, and now all of a sudden you got a kid running and telling the teacher because somebody was joking around with him and he didn't like it. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous too. Like it shows you like how like I don't know much about Adam Butler. Let's look him. I'm gonna look him up real quick. Adam Butler. So Adam Butler, he's not like he's young. He's 31 years old.
Okay. So maybe
like
he's just trying to get a
rookie.
roster spot then.
I mean, like he's 31 years old. You've been in the league he came into the league as an undrafted free agent in 2017. He's been with the Raiders since 2023. And technically he was on a roster for the Patriots when they won the Super Bowl. So he has a Super Bowl ring. So it's like what are you doing? Like why are you so soft? Like
Oops, that was my box. Sorry.
I was like, did you break something?
No. my computer box fell over.
He played in the 2023 with the Raiders. He played in 20 all 17 games. He had 28 tackles, 5 sacks, and then he re-signed, played in every game. So actually wasn't really a practice squad player like they're talking about. This dude had 65 tackles and 5 sacks last year.
Huh. Or maybe he was okay, yeah, that's strange. Because why would they call him a practice squad player now unless he was now on the practice squad?
Yeah, and he re-signed on a 3-year, $16.5 million deal. So maybe I don't know, some of these reports were wrong, which is he got cut originally. He signed with them as a practice squad player originally. So he was a former practice squad player because he got cut from the Dolphins because he failed a physical.
Okay.
So
they didn't. So whoever wrote the practice squad part didn't do the full deep dive.
No, but so you're a veteran dude in the middle of the offensive line. You've been in the league for 8 years now. You had a good year last year. 65 tackles and 5 sacks for a defensive lineman is pretty good.
Yeah.
So and you just really got paid. Why are you snitching on a player, like your teammate, to go to HR?
I don't know. Let's go and move on now because this is just a dumb situation. Huh.
So let's go into the AFC. So obviously last night we got a little preview, even though it was preseason, of one of the Raiders competition, the AFC West, and that's the Chargers. Obviously it was backups on backups, and that was a pretty ugly football game to watch. But
Right.
Let's talk about the division in the AFC West. Everybody is chasing Mahomes. Since 2016, the Chiefs have won 9 straight division championships. They've been in 5 Super Bowls and won 3 rings. And if you include before Mahomes got there and that little run that they had with Alex Smith, they've been dominating the division for over a decade. Mahomes is 46-8 against the AFC West. So let's get into, let's talk about those 4 teams a little bit. So you have the Chiefs. DraftKings and Caesars, they have the Chiefs at -120 to win the division. They have Hollywood Brown, who's always hurt, but they have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. They drafted a highly drafted left tackle in Josh Simmons and signed Jalen Moore and right guard Trey Smith, 2 extensions. They let Joe Tooney go, but they replaced them with his backup, Mike Caliendo. Defensively, they returned everybody. They had the 4th best scoring defense in the NFL. They have Jaden Hicks, who's going to replace Justin Reed, Nick Bolton, George Karafalofis, and Trent McDuffie. They're all back, and they got contract extensions. I mean, their schedule is brutal. I mean, not really. It's brutal, but not brutal. Like, they played Eagles, Lions, and Ravens at home. And then they have the Chargers in Brazil and not SoFi.
That could potentially change the situation though, because that's a neutral site. So it's not at Arrowhead, it's not at SoFi, so nobody really has a home advantage. However, it also depends on the fans in Brazil on who they go for, on maybe the situation of the game.
I think too, like, you're gonna really see either the truth that Kelsey was kind of hurt during that playoff run. I mean, because he didn't really perform very like his normal self, and he looked a step slow. Or you're gonna see that he's fully healthy, and he's not slowing down. I mean, or you're gonna see that he's really slowing down, and those other receivers are gonna really have to step up. But let's get in. We can talk about the Broncos. We'll go through them all. The Broncos, Bo Nix kind of shocked the world last year a little bit. He was drafted in the top 15. He threw for 3,700 yards and 29 touchdowns, had 430 yards on the ground, and they made the playoffs, which nobody expected. And then, he brings back his weapons of Sutton, Martin Mims. They signed Evan Ingram, who was cut by the Jaguars, and then they drafted R.J. Harvey from UCF, and they brought in J.K. Dobbins, so they solidified more of their running game. Then on defense, they were elite last year. They were number 3 in points allowed. They added Dre Greenlaw and Hui Funga from the 49ers to join Pat Surtain. And, their biggest challenge is they might be the biggest challenges to the Chiefs. If
you got to upgrade. You got to upgrade in tight end at Evan Ingram. So that was huge. You're up in your running game. Obviously, Bo Nix is a big improvement from Russell Wilson. So honestly, I agree with you. I think honestly in the division, because Justin Herbert is good, he has a tendency to turn over the ball a lot. So I think as long as Bo Nix can stay away from turnovers, I think they might have a better shot at beating the Chiefs than the Chargers do.
I mean, they're plus 300 to win the division right now. And if you think Nix doesn't have a sophomore slump, they got to have a legit shot to compete with Kansas City.
Yeah, honestly. And then we got the Chiefs, you got the Chargers, you got the Broncos.
Well,
now to the Raiders.
Well, we haven't talked about the Chargers yet.
Oh well, yeah, true.
The Chargers, you have Jim Harbaugh coming into his second year. You can kind of see last night that they were getting the imprint of what a Harbaugh team looks like. Like, he made Trey Lance look. I mean, preseason, but
honestly though, who was the Chargers playing? They were playing Kyle Allen. That dude's not going to be a starting quarterback in the CFL, let alone the NFL.
Well, what I was going to say was, even in his system, he made Trey Lance look like a capable starting quarterback.
Yeah.
But
that's true. Trey Lance did look like a better quarterback last night than he did the entire time he was with San Francisco and Dallas. So, maybe a change of culture is going to needed to happen, but he's not going to start over Justin Herbert.
No, true. But, the Chargers, they upgraded their offensive line. They brought in Mekhi Becton to play next to Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. But their concerns really are on offense. Najee Harris is already hurt from a firework accident. Omari and Hampton's a rookie, so you brought in Najee Harris to take pressure off of Hampton. But Hampton, he could be a stud or he could be a dud. You don't really know. It's the same thing with Genty. Like, they can boom or they can bust. But, when you have a wide receiver corps it's built up of Trey Harris and who they drafted high, Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston, that's not really exactly the greatest show on turf. Herbert still has an arm, but, unless McConkey becomes a 20-plus target guy like Puka or Cooper Kupp, they're going to struggle, I think, offensively more than people estimate. Yet the sportsbooks are giving them a plus 310 chance to win the AFC West. They have a favorable schedule. If they can split with Denver and KC, and obviously, potentially take 2 from the Raiders, they have a favorable chance to try to compete in that division.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely key points to the Chargers that are gonna be potential studs, but you also gotta just thinking the last year, they looked great up until the playoff game against the Texans. And then Justin Herbert throws 4 picks. So you got to think, obviously, everybody looks at the quarterback. So Herbert has to be solid for the Chargers to have a chance, even in the postseason. Because say you face the Chiefs, in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, it's even when you play a team. Yeah, in any sport, it's hard to beat a team. Let's just say Chiefs sweep them. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, but more than likely, you're going to have to go to Arrowhead, and I don't know if Herbert is built for that. So
Unless
let's
a
get into
miracle happens to where the Chiefs don't have that great of a record, have the top record in the AFC, you might get out of going to Arrowhead, but that's a slim chance.
Well, I mean, either way, like they would have to win the division to be able to host that game to be the higher seed.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Because if the Chiefs win the division, they're going to be the home team over a wild card. Let's get into the Raiders. Obviously, our Vegas team. They're 20-1 to win AFC West right now.
Oh boy.
They bring in Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, who threw for 4,300 yards and had a 70% completion percentage last year with Seattle, but he threw 15 interceptions. Their big splash was drafting Ashton Jeanty, number 6, arguably the best college back in the last 10 years. He put up some great numbers at Boise State, but there are some concerns there. The offensive line is shaky at best. You have your wide receivers are Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and a rookie, Dante Thornton, who's kind of lit it up in spring camp and fall camp. But, you're counting on a rookie to be your number 2 or number 3. Defensively, it's Max Crosby and a prayer. They ranked 29th in defense last year in points. 29th in defense. Christian Wilkins was supposed to have to fix that, but obviously he's gone. They don't have a home field advantage at Allegiant Stadium. It's whoever comes in there and plays them home field advantage. I mean, what does this Raiders team look like? And can they even compete? I mean, are they going to win? Their win total 6.5. Is it going to be better than 6.5? I mean,
honestly, I think. Okay, so objectively, it's hard to say. Optimistically, you want to think that they'll win over 7 games, maybe closer to 500. But again, it's hard to tell. I mean, yeah, they brought in some pieces, but you just got to look at the atrocity that was last season. They had games that they should have won but lost. I mean, it's just close games that they could have won, but some missteps happened, and so they ended up losing. I mean, it's not like they had every game that they lost was a blowout. There was a lot of close ones. So I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just it's hard to tell. What let's look at the schedule and see what we got here.
that's preseason. We can skip preseason.
Yep, let's go to the regular season. All right, so they're playing week 1 at your Patriots. What are you thinking? Non-biased, obviously.
I think that's an L. That's my opinion, because I think you have the Patriots with a new coaching staff at home. The Raiders are going across the country. I mean, no matter what, it's always hard. No matter if it's week 1 or week 10, it's always hard for a West Coast team to go to the East Coast and win.
Yeah, because you're looking at a 3-hour time difference. Even though they get there a day or two before the game, still, like, they gotta acclimate. I mean, you travel for work, you know what it's like. It's hard to acclimate one way and then go back to the other way.
Right, and if you think about it, like the Patriots have Vrabel coming in. They have a revived energy. Vrabel's 100-time better coach than Gerard Mayo was. And then they had a lot of free agent acquisitions on the defensive side of the ball. It's going to come down to who plays better between Drake May and Geno Smith, right? Like,
well, let's compare their QBRs. Do you know what Drake May's QBR was?
Let's see. Compare Drake May to Geno Smith. Let me find it. mean, Drake May he didn't play the whole season last year because they started Jacoby Brissett.
Right. Okay, so then QBR is not really a factor into this game. So, I mean, Drake May had flashes of potential last season, and then he also threw a lot of picks in some games. So
Well, how about this? To be fair, Drake May has Josh McDaniels back as his offensive coordinator. And the Patriots might try to win that game for Josh McDaniels. And Josh McDaniels made Mac Jones a playoff quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, he's going to have that's a revenge game for him because he was the head coach of the Raiders and they fired him. So, I mean, honestly, I feel like your Patriots do have a pretty good shot at winning that because McDaniels is going to bring out every trick in his book that he's got to beat this team.
So let's go to the next 2 weeks. You got the Chargers. That's the Raiders home opener at Allegiant. Monday Night Football. That one can go either way because early on Monday Night Football at home. Then they have Washington. They could easily start 0-3.
Yeah. I mean,
they
that's
gotta go.
very
They
true.
gotta
I
put
mean, Washington
on
went to the NFC Championship game last year with the rookie quarterback. Now, does Jaden Daniels come in and have a slump? We don't know. But I feel like, honestly, I can see the Raiders being 0-3. Do I wish it? Not really, but I could see it. I think here's possibly where they can get their first W's against the Bears because it depends on which Caleb Williams they see.
Yeah, you're gonna get you're gonna get a huge cue on what you see from Ben Johnson early on in the season and how Caleb Williams picks that up. If Caleb Williams is playing decent, a lot of Bears fans are gonna come to Vegas, and that's gonna be a Bears home game, fans wise.
Yeah, that's where the fans who own season tickets need to go to root on the Raiders and not sell them to Bears fans.
I mean, I think they could beat Indy. I mean, the Indy's interesting because I don't know who starts at quarterback. Are they starting Anthony Richardson or are they starting Daniel Jones?
Right, that's what I'm saying. You got a QB competition. So it really depends on who gets the starting job, on who they're going to see and what their potential is. If it's Daniel Jones, I think they got a pretty good shot. If it's Anthony Richardson, if he can keep his ball control the way it normally is and keep off the overthrows, then maybe the Colts win that one. But that's also going to just depend on who the QB is.
I mean, then you go in, they should beat Tennessee. I mean, Cam Ward, who knows what he'll be at that point. Tennessee just seems like it's a dumpster fire of a franchise. Maybe potentially even worse than what the Raiders are. But I think, that's a winnable game for them.
So potentially we're looking at 3-3 at this point, or maybe 2-4.
2-4. And then you're looking at the next. You have the Chiefs on the road, a bye, and then you play Jacksonville.
So let's just be blunt here. Probably lose to the Chiefs. I think they have a chance against Jacksonville coming off the bye.
Yep. And then they go short week at Denver. That's probably a loss.
Yeah, but especially being on the short week. Now this game here is going to be interesting because Micah Parsons requested a trade today.
Yeah,
so they don't have their number one defender.
Seems like Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones. He needs to step away. I think they're never going to win anything as long as he's in control. No. Like future-wise, like Super Bowl-wise. They may win 10, 11, 12 games like they do every other year or so. But, the Cowboys are a dumpster fire management-wise. Like, I mean, who knows if Micah Parsons is even on the roster? Is Dak going to be healthy at that point? We'll see.
So we could put a W by the Cowboys.
No, I still wouldn't even go that far because that's going to be 90-10 Cowboy fans in Vegas.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we got to deal with Cowboys fans here, but without any games, let alone with games here.
And it's a Monday Night Football game, prime time in Vegas. Like, that's going to be a 90-10 Cowboy game. The Browns, they can beat.
Depending on who the quarterback is. Again, another QB competition. You got four
QB. It's week 12. You might have Shedeur Sanders starting at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you don't know who's going to be the quarterback.
I mean, I've heard anything from Shedeur Sanders being a they're tanking for Arch Manning to he may not even make the roster on that shit team. So
All right, so now we're going back to the chart. This one's at the Chargers.
Probably a loss, to be honest.
Yep, and then
so what are we at? Is that 5 wins?
probably. And then you got week 14, you got Denver again. Gonna be at home for the Raiders. It's gonna be a toss-up. I mean, I think they'll probably lose that one, but
They're losing at Philly.
yep,
They're losing at Houston.
yep. They might have a chance at New York because Russell Wilson's the quarterback.
Well, I mean, at that point, is New York going to be so bad they're playing Jackson Dart?
True. I mean,
'Cause that's week
again,
7.
like all of this is all theoretical because obviously just had the first preseason game.
Well, no, I'm
teams-
saying are they playing Jackson Dart because it's week 17 and they're tanking at that point?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like right now, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback, but you also got to think you got Jameis Winston and Jackson Dart. So will it be Jameis? Will it be Jackson? It all depends.
They may have a chance to win week 18 because the Chiefs might not play nobody.
Yeah. By that point, they probably are already playoff locked. So they'll probably be playing their backups. Raiders play the starters. And then so they got a chance at that one. So we're saying possibly 7 wins this season.
That puts you right at the number because the number's 6.5.
Right. So if you're a Raiders fan, take the over just to see what happens. By us, over the 6.5 is good.
Let's talk about the game last night because I was so happy to see football back on my TV. You have no idea.
Let's be real here.
The season opened up last night with the 2025 Hall of Fame game. The Chargers dismantled the Lions 34-17. In a game that really showcased everything a coach could want in a preseason opener: efficient play, suffocating defense, and 5 takeaways from the Chargers' perspective, but also a complete disaster from the Lions' perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a dumpster fire game for them.
I was completely wrong. I thought the game was going to go under, and it was basically over at halftime.
Right.
I
don't know. I mean, it was unbelievable. I was watching the game, and I couldn't believe the atrocious play from the Lions. I mean, granted, I knew it was backups versus backups, but I thought Kyle Allen could at least do something against the Chargers backups. He was throwing picks left and right. Like, I think by the end of the first quarter, he probably had 2 or 3 at least.
So you had Allen was intercepted twice in the first quarter alone, and he was 9 for 14 for 91 yards. And then Hendon Hooker came in, didn't play much better, threw a late pick, cap off a night for forget. So I mean, you had 3 interceptions from quarterbacks last night. I mean, but you had really good quarterback play from Trey Lance. He went 13 out of 20, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 to Disley and then 1 to Keandre Lambert-Smith, a rookie, on a 15-yard strike, who actually led their team with 43 yards in the receiving. Harbaugh looked true to form, wearing his khakis and his and then it also did you notice last night that the NFL debuted their virtual chain gang, the virtual ball spotting system?
I was going to bring that up too. What do you think of that?
I think it helps for plays like you had in the playoffs last year, like Josh Allen's, 4th down conversion that wasn't a 4th down conversion, that was reviewed, that couldn't be reviewed. I think it helps with that. I mean, they're doing Bluetooth censorship to get that, kind of like how tennis does. So it's very interesting to see that in football. I think it's going to make at the first couple weeks at least, it's going to make the game a little bit slower with all the usage it's going to get. But once they dial it in, it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's kind of like the when baseball brought in the pitch clock.
Yeah. I mean, it's a way to help control the game a little bit, make it a little bit more, accurate, so to speak. Because, I mean, obviously ball placement by the refs, there can be human error. They could hold, the chain team might not necessarily be as tight as it's supposed to be or where it's exactly supposed to be at. So, I mean, I think it could help it actually improve the game to where it's a little more accurate. on those close plays like that.
I mean, it's kind of like the automatic ball and strike system that they have in minor league baseball right now. That's going to be in the MLB. I think that's where it's going. There's too much human error in a lot of these that they've had to go this route, and I think it's going to make it very interesting. Let's go.
I mean,
Let's
yeah,
talk
whenever you're
about one of the other interesting stories that happened in the last week. Marcus Morris getting arrested in Vegas technically he got arrested at the airport in Florida. He had 2 outstanding warrants because he wrote bad checks for $265,000 to casinos here in Vegas for the payback markers he took out. $115,000 at MGM Grand in May of 2024, and then $150,000 at the Wynn. Both checks he wrote bounced. Nevada tried to get him to pay it back. The gaming board tried to get him to pay him back. And then next thing you know, 2 arrest warrants were issued, one in March and one in June, each charging him with felony theft and passing a fraudulent check exceeding $1,000. He was arrested at a Fort Lauderdale airport and held in jail while they denied his bond. Judge ruled that he can only be released if Nevada authorities are satisfied or if the warrants are withdrawn, usually by paying off the debt.
I mean, come on, man. Like, what are you doing here? Like, this is crazy to me. Like, I mean, obviously, you were a professional athlete. If you don't have the money, why are you taking out markers? You know they're not just going to give it to you, and they're not going to give you the credit. Be like, oh, well, he was a professional athlete. We'll let his markers go. No, you still got to pay it back. Like, why would you put yourself in that kind of situation?
Well, I feel like too that what a lot of people from the outside perspective don't understand is like these casinos are on very high strung and high alert because of what happened with Ohtani. So what a lot of people don't know is they see what the headlines were. Oh, it's his interpreter. Oh, he's probably just taking the fall for Ohtani. But what happened was Ohtani's interpreter was using a guy to run money through the Resorts World Hotel and Casino here in Vegas. And the VP of Resorts World knew about it. He ended up getting fired, lost his gaming license, and Sabella got Resorts World fined somewhere between $9 to $10 million. So now all these casinos are flagging everything.
Of course. And as somebody who was a professional or as a professional athlete, why would you not pay attention to that? Like that Otani situation was huge. It was talked about for months and months and months. Why would you put yourself in that kind of situation? To me, that's just crazy, and it was very, very irresponsible. And honestly, I'm glad that they got him. I feel like he should be punished.
This was the quote. One of the quotes he put on his Instagram. He said, "Did I take a marker out to gamble? Yes. I thought the amount of money and time I spent there would really have value. Did I think they would lock me up? Hell no." You knew what you were doing. You knew either you didn't have the money and cash it. I mean, granted, athletes, they have all these investments. They have offshore funds, or they go broke. Whatever, right? They may not have $200,000 to sitting in the bank. They haven't invested offshore funds, stock, whatever, right? So it's like, if you know that you potentially don't have that money, like, just don't even take it out. Like,
right.
Don't be stupid.
And it's kind of on the casino too, because when a casino runs somebody for a marker, they have to put them into a system that checks their bank account to make sure they have the money to cover the markers. So that's also kind of on the casino as well for giving him the markers, because they probably knew that he didn't have it.
Yeah, his legal team said they already sent a large payment via wire to the casinos, hoping to expedite a resolution. Prosecutors in Nevada have indicated that they may dismiss the charges once they're paid. He has court again in a week, so we'll see if that pays off. But at the end of the day, like, there's so many athletes that come here and gamble. The Morris twins have come here forever. When I worked at MGM in the sports book, I would see them all the time. I would see McDermott, the coach of Creighton, all the time. I would see Floyd Mayweather all the time. You've seen other people at Westgate when you worked there too.
Yep,
they're gonna give you high limits, higher than other normal people get, just because of your status, and they know that you'll pay it.
Oh yeah, I had Mattress Mac come in and bet with me on the Astros all the time. And we would max them out at a 500K. So I mean, obviously, higher limits are going to be given to people who they know are going to bet and are going to bet big. All right, so let's talk about something else that happened yesterday. The MLB trade deadline.
So let's talk about that a little bit. Over 40 players were moved in 48 hours. So let's go through the divisions a little bit. Let's start with the AL East. The AL East, I mean, the Yankees, they loaded up. They got David Bednar, Camilo Duvall, and Jake Bird to help their bullpen. I mean, their bullpen has been, other than Luke Weaver, has kind of been a disaster. Devin Williams hasn't really panned out the way they thought it would. So adding two all-star caliber closers and Duvall and Bednar and Jake Bird, who's actually having a very good year with Colorado. I mean, they added Ryan McMahon, who's just basically a younger DJ LeMahieu. Doesn't hit very well and is a decent fielder, but they need to get anything to help Volpe out, who leads the league in errors. And then they got Jose Caballero from the Rays, Ahmed Rosario from the Nationals, and Austin Slater from the White Sox. I mean, they're decent depth pieces, but they're nothing that pushes the needle. I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to the bats. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they go. I mean, the Red Sox and the Yankees are chasing the Blue Jays right now. The Red Sox are half game back of the Yankees, and the Yankees are 6 back of Toronto right now. I mean,
and then
the
you got
Yankees and
Baltimore
Red Sox
who
are the top
sold.
2 wild cards.
And then you got Baltimore who sold during the trades. Like you got Cedric Mullins who went to the Mets. Urias came to my Astros. You had O'Hearn who went to the Padres? I mean,
Yep.
so I mean, with Baltimore selling like that, they're pretty much giving up on the season.
Yep. I mean, the Red Sox, they were all the talk. The Craig Breslow was all the talk about, oh, we're gonna buy, we're gonna spend that money we traded with Devers. You went and got Dustin May and Steven Matz. That does nothing. Like you needed another bat in your lineup, and you needed another first baseman, and you didn't fill that. I don't see them being a legit World Series contender unless they have some miracle Diamondbacks run of a couple years ago. I mean, where everything has to go right. I don't see it realistically happening. I mean, they might be lucky to keep their playoff spot with how hot the Rangers have been. The Mariners being right on their trail. Like, it's easy. And then the Rays were interesting. They sold off some pieces, but then they added a catcher and a reliever. It means Tampa, they'll always compete, but we'll see if they actually do compete. The AL Central, I mean, the Tigers were the really only ones that made major moves. They got Charlie Morton, relievers Paul Sewald, Kyle Finnegan, and then Chris Paddock from the Twins. They added some depth into their rotation. Charlie Morton's a great postseason pitcher. So
yeah, he hasn't been doing well during the regular season, but he's a great postseason because I have experience because he played for my Astros. Charlie Morton is a great, great, great postseason addition. So I think he's definitely going to help them there. Now, whether he'll help during the regular season, I'm not sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You hit it right on the head. Like Charlie Morton's a dynamite. What I was going to say was I wouldn't be surprised if he's like more of a longer relief guy during the regular season, but he'll be in that playoff rotation for sure. I mean, the Tigers are interesting. Like, they started off so hot, and they really cooled off, and then now they've won like 5 out of 6 again. Who knows with them? I mean, it's all going to be matchups with them. Their bats aren't lighting anybody on fire. I mean, you have Skubal in their rotation, but every other good arm they have has gotten hurt. So
they've been relying mostly on their bats. Now that they can maybe have some decent pitching that they brought in during the trade deadline to replace those injured pitchers, maybe that'll help them get on a hot streak again.
I mean, so let's go to the AL West. The A's traded out their stars, 2 of their stars, Mason Miller and J.P. Sears. Sears was arguably their best starting pitcher. And then obviously you have Mason Miller, who's a flamethrower closer. Just hasn't put it together yet. But when he does,
Kid's got a rocket for an arm, man. Like, it's unbelievable.
And that kid throws 103, 104 miles an hour. I mean, but they got a good return for them. They got the number 3 rated prospect in DeVaries, who's the highest rated prospect ever to be traded at the trade deadline, and he's the second highest prospect ever to be traded. In case you didn't know, the number 1 the only number one prospect to be traded was Yohan Moncada, who was traded from the Red Sox to the White Sox for Chris Sale. And then let's talk about the Astros a little bit. They pulled a little bit of a stunner bringing Carlos Correa back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here's the right thing, okay? So, Isak Paredes out for the rest of the season might be able to come back for postseason, but that's a big might. Okay, so we need somebody at third base. We go get Urias, who's a utility infielder. So that's one option. But then Correa says that he would play third base because we got Jeremy Pena at short, and Pena, like Correa trained Pena to take over his position. So he's not going to play short over Pena. Pena's standing short. Correa's going to third. We got Urias that we can move anywhere. So that kind of brings to the question, where does Bryce Matthews go, who is our top-rated prospect right now? He's with the club currently, but depending on when Jordan comes back, so is Altuve going to go back to mainly playing second base? Where does Bryce Matthews go?
It also brings up the question, where do you play Cam Smith? I mean, they got Jesus Sanchez too, who's they're going to want his bat in the lineup. I mean, you got to think they get Jordan back at some point. So Jordan's going to be your DH. I mean, and you have Altuve, who's currently basically DHing right now. Where are you gonna play Matthews, let alone Cam Smith? You're gonna keep Cam Smith in the outfield? Okay, then where are you gonna play Altuve? You're gonna stick Altuve back in the outfield, or you're gonna play Altuve at second base again?
I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting question for when everybody comes back healthy. As of right now, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna throw Correa at third and then use Urias where they need him. But then once you get Jordan back, because he should be coming back probably within the next month. So you're going to get him back, which is another lefty bat. You went out and got Sanchez, who's a lefty bat. So you know he's going to be in the lineup almost every day. Because the Astros are a heavily right-handed team when it comes to the bats. I mean, the only one who's been consistently on the left side is Caratini. And he's only a part-time catcher, part-time DH. So when you got your only lefty bat being a part-time player, that kind of brings the trouble to the mixes or to the what word am I looking for? The splits.
So Espada before his media availability today, he said he gave an update on Jordan. Jordan has been rehabbing obviously from his fractured hand. It says that he's expected to return to the lineup sometime in mid-August, and he hasn't had any setbacks so far. So he's going to be back here real quick.
Yep, and Jeremy Pena, he's already had a rehab start with Sugarland, a couple of them.
Pena was activated
was last Tuesday. Huh?
Pena was activated today.
Yeah, okay, so now he's going to be a short, and then Gray is going to have to play third. It's going to definitely change where everything goes once everybody's healthy again. Are you going to primarily use Jordan as DH so you can play Altuve on left? Or are you going to use Jordan, who's got a better arm than Altuve and is about a foot taller than Altuve, who can get better balls? I mean, it just really depends.
You got a pitcher's duel going on right now between the Astros and the Red Sox.
What is it, 1-1?
1-0 in the fifth.
And see, we thought it was going to be the over was going to be because both pitchers' ERAs are ridiculous.
No, Hunter Brown's pitching today.
Oh, right. No, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be ridiculous.
So, and then if we continue down in that division, the Mariners added some real thump in their lineup without giving up a lot of prospects. They got Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor.
Which I told you they were probably going to go back and get Eugenio for third base. Didn't I tell you that?
Yep.
I said that on our first show, that they were probably going to go back and get him from Arizona, and that's exactly what they did.
I mean, if you look at that lineup, you have – I don't know it exactly, but you have Naylor, you have Arozarena, you have Julio, you have Eugenio Suarez, and you have Cal Raleigh.
A lot of big bats in that lineup. That can prove to be that can make the division race go very different, because right now the Astros have a 5-game lead. So with all these big bats coming in, adding back to the lineup, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah,
Now,
you have
unfortunately for
right
the
now.
Athletics, I don't think that they're going to do anything since they traded away two of their top three players.
Who the
I mean,
A's?
they've still been playing decent, but I don't think they're going to move up in the division.
Who did you say, the A's or the Rangers?
A's.
Yeah, the A's are. They won 2 in a row and they won 6 out of their last 10. But you never know. They're young. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at the wild card race right now, you have the Yankees in the top spot, the Red Sox a game up on the Mariners, then you have the Rangers right behind them with a game back of Seattle. So, I mean, speaking of the Rangers bought as well. Went out and got Nathan and Danny Columbine. I don't know how to say his name, but two good. He has 2 good relief. He's a good reliever with an under 3 ERA. Nathan's, you know him from the Astros days. Like, he's really hit and miss. When he's good, he's good. When he's not, he's not. And then Merrill Kelly, he's having a great season as a starter. He's a great postseason pitcher. He'll slot in as their number 3 behind Evaldi and Jacob deGrom.
Oh yeah, Kelly was definitely a good pickup for them.
So I mean, if you look at the NL East is basically the Mets and the Phillies. That's about it. I mean, the Mets, they went and got, like you mentioned earlier, they went and got Cedric Mullins. They beefed up their bullpen by getting Ryan Helsley. He had 49 saves 2 years ago with the Cardinals. Tyler Rogers from San Francisco, who has an under 2 ERA, and Gregory Soto from Baltimore. And the Phillies went out and got Johan Duran, the electric closer from the Twins. They also got Harrison Bader from the Twins. So the Mets really retooled what was in front of Edwin Diaz. And I think, when you look at the playoffs, it's the playoff race for any team, whether it's the Padres who did the same thing, the Yankees who did the same thing. You just want your starter to get 5, maybe 6. Then after that, you're going to your bullets. It's all matchups, and you're going to your bullets.
Yep. I don't know. I think this trade deadline is definitely going to make the playoff race and the playoffs really interesting because there were a lot of moves that were made that made teams a lot better. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen for October baseball.
I mean, if you look at the NL West too, like the Dodgers, they traded Dustin May away, but they brought in Alex Call, who's a serviceable outfielder from the Nationals, and they traded for Brock Stewart, who's a solid reliever from the Twins. But, I mean, the Padres, they don't care about prospects. They will never care about prospects. Unless your name is Fernando Tatis Jr., they don't really, or Jackson Merrill, they don't really care who you are.
Yeah, I mean, they bought. They are in it to win it this year.
And you brought in Mason Miller, like we mentioned, JP Sears also to help that rotation. I mean, they already have Robert Suarez, who's one of the best closers in baseball. And you throw in Mason Miller in front of him, you got 103. Then going to Suarez. Like they took notes from the Dodgers last year. The Dodgers beat them because their bullpen was better, and they couldn't hit. So now they're going, okay, let's hope Cease can go 5, and then I'm going to my guns out of the bullpen. And they also made some really small moves that I thought were pretty good. They brought in Nestor Cortez, who pitched 2 starts this year, I think. I mean, he's just about coming back from injury. I mean, he was solid when he was healthy with New York. I mean, to throw him as like your number 4, number 5, like that's not really that terrible. I mean, they also brought in Ryan O'Hearn, who was an all-star DH for the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, granted, he got that spot because Devers got traded, but he was still putting up really good numbers. He's a big bat to put between, Machado and Tatis. And then obviously, and Xander Bogaerts. But then you have, they brought in Ramon Laureano too, who's a very good outfielder defensively. He's always been for his whole career. He's having a decent year with the bat, but he's having a pretty good. I mean, they made some small moves too that may really help them.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be an interesting race to October. I can't wait to see it.
I mean, we missed the NL Central, but I mean, does anybody really care about the Cubs, Reds, or Brewers?
No, not really.
Let's talk about the summer league. The summer league just wrapped up. You had that highlight game day 1 that sold out Thompson Mack Center with Cooper Flagg and Bronny, and then the talk came like it does the last couple of years. All the talk about the NBA and expansion, and then bringing a pro team to Vegas. Adam Silver spoke, and he said that they count Vegas already as their unofficial 31st franchise. From Team USA to hosting the NBA Cup to
Summer League.
the Summer League. Like they already, but make no mistake, Vegas is still on the outside looking in when it comes to that. And Silver continues to acknowledge that Vegas has a unique role in the NBA calendar. But what came out today, or not came out, but came out during Summer League was, as part of that push to get an NBA team here, Bill Foley, who owns part of T-Mobile Arena, and obviously he's the Vegas Golden Knights owner, he said that he's willing to invest up to $300 million to help upgrade T-Mobile Arena to make it an NBA and NHL ready arena. They can have NBA games in there now, but they would revamp it. And he's making the push, and he's saying that T-Mobile is the perfect place for an NBA team to play. No need to build a new arena. No need to do all these plans. We already have one. I'll invest my own money into that. I mean, I think there's no timetable, no expansion fee out there. I mean, it's obviously going to be Vegas and Seattle, but it's very interesting when you hear these things. It's like all the talk before was, let's just get an arena built. Let's tear down a Rio. Let's put a new stadium up somewhere. Now you got Foley coming out. And I think when you hear Foley get involved, I think that could help push the button a little bit and move the needle.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're the basketball guy, not me so much. But yeah, I mean, obviously Vegas wants to be a full sporting city. So they want baseball, they want football. We got football, we got hockey, we got baseball coming. They want NBA next. I mean, so I definitely could see a team here probably within the next 5 years, easily.
But I think, that I just think it from a perspective of like, you have the arena built. Like, what are you waiting for? If you already have the guy willing to invest money, like,
Yeah,
what are you waiting
that's
for?
true. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe an owner for the team?
Well, I mean, if Foley's willing to invest that much money to upgrade T-Mobile Arena, I'm sure he's going to want to cut.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he probably would only be able to put in so much. So who else would own?
No, right. But I'm just saying in general, like you already got one investor with an arena built that he's already talking to try to get a team here. Like,
yeah.
I mean, are they really waiting for LeBron to retire? Because now LeBron has really said he wants to own the team here. Are they really just waiting for him to retire?
I mean, that could be too. And then didn't I hear rumblings that your boy Tom Brady wanted to be part owner in an NBA team here in Vegas? He's already part owner for the Raiders
and the Aces.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I heard rumblings that he might want to go and part owner for the NBA team. So maybe they are waiting for LeBron to retire so they can get a deal done. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be interesting. I would watch for, like I said, within the next 5 years, I think there will be an NBA team here.
I think there has to be. It's going to be the last. If they don't get a team here by 2028, they're going to be the last. They're going to be the only team that's not here, or the only league that's not here. Because if the A's have broken ground, they've gotten all the permitting to start, the major construction. They're doing everything, that they're supposed to. They announced their first major culinary partnership, investor. Like, that's happening. Whether people want to believe it or not, they want to believe those really bad pages that put out those bad information. I think we all know who that is, the Vital Vegases of the world. But, it's happening whether people want to accept it or not. So if you're going to have basically everything but the NBA here by 2028. You really think Adam Silver wants to be the last man standing?
No, he definitely doesn't want to be left out. I can guarantee that. So
let's talk about so yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of when Allegiant was built. And and Allegiant Stadium has hosted some major events already, from Super Bowl 58 to hosting major soccer games with Real Madrid, Barcelona, the CONCACAF Cup, to obviously the mega fight coming up in September of Crawford and Canelo. And then, obviously they had WrestleMania last year, and they're going to have it again next year. I mean, and
they got concerts that are coming in constantly.
Right. And then 2027, they're hosting the CFP National Championship. 2028, they're hosting the Final Four at Allegiant Stadium. If you think about in less than a decade, you're going to have everything basically but an NBA Finals.
Or what about the CFP? Are they going to ever have the college football playoff?
I just said they are.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm deaf, so I'm blaming that.
It's already said that 2027, the CFP championships at Allegiant.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, honestly, yeah, the NBA Finals would have to be the last thing.
You know, one thing that I think would be really cool, and they could probably do it, is they should do a stadium series between like the Kings and the Knights, or the Sharks and the Knights, or Ducks and the Knights, something like that, California team, and do it at Allegiant. Like, why not?
Yeah. I mean, they definitely have more seats than T-Mobile does.
Well, it's also climate controlled.
True.
So it's not
So
like it's
you
that
can have
hard.
that place freezing to keep the ice cold. Whereas whenever they play up in Tahoe, when it was the Avalanche Knights game on Lake Tahoe, the ice started melting because it was getting too warm.
Yeah, I think, you know, what would you say your favorite moment has been so far since Legion's been open?
Well, I'm gonna be biased here when I went to see the Texans play the Raiders because that was a great environment. I mean, obviously my Texans lost, but it's also because we had Davis Mills as our quarterback, so I wasn't expecting too much. But it was definitely a great time. I mean, Allegiant Stadium is beautiful, and you know, you got the automated beer ports, so that's also nice. You pay for two, you go get them, and then you got two beers already. You don't have to worry about the beer here guy, so you can go get your own beer here.
I would say mine is watching, even though they lost, watching UNLV make their first conference championship game.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I wasn't at the game with you, but I watched it, and I mean, to be there for the atmosphere, I'm sure it was unbelievable.
I mean, it was just crazy from UNLV being a historically 2-win team to finally breaking through and getting there, even though they lost. Like, it was just crazy. And then even last year, the environments for UNLV were freaking insane. Like, people give UNLV slight because they rent out Allegiant Stadium, but I mean, they got 45,000 fans for a team that was historically getting 19 to 20 before 2 years ago for Boise State.
Stadium.
They got 45 43 when they played Reno. Like, it was, I mean, I think the most electric college football game I've ever been to. There's only, I think, 35,000 fans at it, but it was when they played. I think you went with me. Did you?
Boise State, right?
No, when they played Syracuse last year.
Oh yeah. I was there. Yeah, that one was electric.
That was wild.
Oh my god, it was so much fun too. Like, the UNLV fans were into it. The team was being hyped up by the fans. Like, it was a pretty fun game. Pretty great atmosphere.
Well, it was. Sluka had just quit with that NIL crap last year. He had just quit. They were 4-0. I think 4-0. They were ranked for the first time in school history, and it was probably like 60-40 UNLV Syracuse fans, but it was loud. It was, I mean, UNLV led the whole game, and they lost in overtime on a really, really shitty roughing the passer call.
Yep.
But I remember, like, that was just crazy. It was back and forth, like fans getting into it. That was probably one of the best environments I've ever been in. All right.
It was definitely a fun time.
Let's talk about parlays for the weekend and parlays for tonight. You know, we wouldn't be a podcast with Pints and Parlays if we didn't give you our parlay for tonight and our parlay for tomorrow.
All right, Mike, you want to go ahead and give your first one, and then I'll give mine.
Yep. So my parlay for tonight, I threw in a WNBA game, so don't judge me.
I'm judging. There's judgment coming your way.
I take my 3-teamer is take the Padres at home, you know, with all the teams that they bought. I'm sorry, all the players they bought, they're playing a team that's slumping. I think same thing with Seattle. I like Seattle at home tonight. Then I'm gonna ride the WNBA. I'm gonna take Seattle at home also. Money line. All on the money line.
Okay, so I'm with you on the Padres. I mean Pivetta is pitching. He's 10-3 against Liberatore for St. Louis. Plus, St. Louis got rid of their best pitcher, so I think by far the Padres should win that one. I kind of like the over in the White Sox Angels game because both pitchers' ERAs are over 4. You got Smith pitching for Chicago, whose ERA is 4.26, and you got Anderson pitching for LA, at 4.41 ERA. So I kind of like the over in that game. I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game. I would take the over there. And then I'm going to go ahead and have to say I like the Mariners over the Rangers like you because of the fact of who they bought. They got back Suarez and they got Naylor. But then I'm also going to throw in an extra bonus game. You can take it if you want. I'm going to say I kind of want to say take the I'm gonna throw an underdog in there and take the Athletics since this is a bonus pick. I say go for it. Take the plus money on the Athletics. I mean, granted, Lopez is pitching for them, so his ERA is a little bit higher than Descafani, but Arizona shipped off some good players, so I think it's gonna hurt their team. And I'm gonna say pick Oakland. I'm gonna throw that in there as a bonus pick, and that's my parlay for the day.
So my parlay for tomorrow. Little 3-teamer. I like the Cubs. Even though we didn't really talk about the NL West, I like the Cubs money line tomorrow. Then I'm going to back 2 solid pitchers. I'm going to take them first 5. I'm taking Paul Skeens and the Pirates first 5, and I'm taking Skubal and the Tigers first 5. They're potentially the 2 Cy Young winners.
Yeah.
And Skeens is nasty, Skubal's nasty, and the Cubs, I think, they're playing who are they playing? They're playing Baltimore, who just sold off a bunch of people. So,
right. Yeah. So I definitely,
I'm taking the Cubs. So
Okay.
Those are my 3 for Saturday. We'll get these posted on our page also. Aaron, what's yours for Saturday?
So for Saturday, we got a big game. Or we got a big series, you and I, because our teams are playing each other. Tomorrow, I like the over because we got Gordon going for my Astros and Buehler going for your Red Sox. Both pitchers have well over 4 as an ERA. I think it's just going to be a scoring game.
Buehler can't throw a strike to save his life.
Yeah, so I feel like that's going to go over. So I like the over there. Okay?
Hold on. So especially because today it's 1-0 in the 6th inning, those bats are going to explode tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be like a beach ball instead of a baseball. And then I also, Toronto has been on quite the hot streak, but they got Scherzer pitching tomorrow, whose ERA is 4.89. I'm going to say go with Kansas City. I like Kansas City. Cameron's pitching. He's 5-4, got a 2.44 ERA. I feel like maybe Kansas City might be able to squeak that one out there. And then I also I'm going to go with, you got Skeens pitching for Pittsburgh tomorrow. So whenever Skeens is on the mound, go with Pittsburgh because, he's one of the best pitchers in the league. So that's my 3. I got the over in the Red Sox-Astros game. I'd say Kansas City Royals and Pittsburgh Pirates.
If you guys bet these, drop your tickets. Tag us on Instagram. Tag us on Twitter. Drop your tickets. I want to see if you guys are following. Obviously, we're going to put them out, try to put out as much as we can during the week. And obviously, we're going to drop our live picks during our show. But if you guys bet our picks, drop them. Tag us. We want to see it. Well, that's a wrap for this week. If you enjoyed the show, share it with your friends. Share it with your crew. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast from, whether it's Apple, Spotify. We're on all platforms. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back next Friday, same time, same place, maybe a different tap on beer. We'll see you on that.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it. If you follow our bets, good luck. Good luck with your other bets. Drop your tickets even if you don't follow us. We'd like to see. I mean, we're a parlay people here. We love parlays. Otherwise, it wouldn't be pints and parlays. Let's see them parlays. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Love y'all.